Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the series that, for me anyway, is the biggest surprise of the season. Oh my god. When this show was coming out, and I said I had mentioned that I was looking forward to it, I got a lot of people telling me, don't worry about it, you probably won't dig it, it's a bland, generic rom-com, and I thought, oh, okay, that's weird. I mean, that's kind of what I was watching it for. Turns out, it's a really funny rom-com, and I like rom-coms, so basically I'm never listening to some of you guys again. Anyway, before we get started, I do want to remind you that we are trying to get this channel to 25K before the end of the year. Now, we are close, but it's gonna take a couple more of us to hit that subscribe button, so if you have not already done so, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and get this started, shall we? Okay, so Rent-A-Girlfriend Episode 1. Rent-A-Girlfriend, very creative episode title. But nah, usually when you're making your first episode, usually it's the same title as the show itself. But still, honestly, really, really strong start. And by strong, I mean, damn, you feel bad for my man Kaz here. And Kaz does, he starts off, my boy, because I was like, this poor guy, I must defend him, and then towards the middle of the episode, I was like, my god, I want to punch this kid in the nose, and then it eventually became, you know what, you're my boy again. That's the journey that we go on with Kaz in this episode. Kaz, by the way, is voiced by Shun Hori, a name who I had no connection to at all. In my notes, I literally just have Shun Hori. No idea who this dude is, so I wasn't expecting very much by the time I saw the episode, but since he was the lead, I was hoping he'd bring something. Now, when I first saw this, I wasn't sure if it was going to be like a straight-up rom-com, but more heavy on the rom or the com. Fun fact, it is very heavy on the com part. It's almost hardly a romance. At the very least, not quite. That's not the focus, at least. It's mostly just on how Kaz ends up screwing up poor Mizu's life, essentially. Well, I shouldn't say that. That's a little bit harsh, but it borderlines there. And honestly, I have to give my credit to Shun Hori here because I thought he really brought it as Kazu. He really Kazu or Kaz. I can't call him Kazu because it makes me think of Kazu from Hair Gear, but I'm gonna call him Kaz. You actually feel really bad for Kaz at the beginning of this episode because my god, this poor dude gets brutalized by his ex. Basically, when we open the episode, we have Kaz basically introduce us. He says, hello, I'm Kinoshita Kazuya, 20 years old, college student, and I have a girlfriend. And he has that girlfriend for all of maybe about 5 seconds before she breaks up with him. I should say, he does later establish that he's been with this girl for about a month, but she dumps him pretty brutally. Like we're talking Scott Pilgrim levels of oof. You know what I mean? Like so bad that I'm shocked that Kaz didn't have a shaggy haircut by the end of this. My man got destroyed. And what's worse is he does this thing that I think a lot of dumpies do, is they try to imagine what the other person is doing. Some advice. Never do that. Never wonder what the other person is doing. You gotta focus on yourself after a brutal breakup like the one that Kaz goes through. So this poor dude, he's imagining what his ex is doing. And this girl too, by the way, no tact at all. I was floored when she just hits him with the like, hey, so I've fallen for somebody else, so we're gonna have to break up. Is that cool? God damn. Like that was harsh, and it's such a one-sided dumping that you actually kind of understand why he does what he does, you know what I mean? Why he ends up going to the app. I mean, like, not only does she dump this dude in like the most brutal way possible, but apparently the entire month, it was basically one-sided. She wouldn't even hold the man's hand, man. Now, mind you, hand-holding, as we all know, is very lewd. I understand this, but when you're in a relationship, sometimes you gotta hold hands. Some people are like, what? Sometimes you gotta hold hands. And no hand-holding. All the conversation seemed very one-sided. And she even blocks this dude after they break up, like the most. Now, in fairness, when you get broken up with, I don't necessarily advise blocking that person, but maybe like muting that person is for the best, at least for a little bit. But she just outright blocks this dude, like removed. You have no access to this person anymore. It is harsh. so harsh that I actually totally understand why he ends up joining the app. The app, like, him stumbling across the app was a bit of, like, fortuitous events. It definitely felt, I don't want to say forced, but very convenient when he found the app. But it sort of leaves you in this scene, and I'm probably showing a screenshot from this scene on screen now, and it is harsh, and I really felt for Kaz in this moment, because, like, he really feels, like, worthless in this scene, and it's shot so well. This shot of him, like, curled up in a ball and sort of, like, reaching for the phone, like he's that, like, just desperate for some sort of connection right now. And you see it, like, the camera zooms up and you just see how empty and alone he is, and he's, like, again in this curled up ball, just totally defenseless. It's a brutal scene. Honestly, don't get me wrong, it's funny, but at the same time you're like, god damn, it is difficult to watch. And basically this leads to Kaz signing up for the app and getting himself a date with our girl Mizu. Now, this is where I should establish something. So normally in these videos, I will wait till the end to talk about some color psychology, some color symbolism, if you will. But given that this show does what other anime don't do, and that is give the characters different outfits for every day, the characters don't just wear the same outfit. What I'm gonna do is a little bit different. I'm going to talk about the outfits as they appear, especially for this show, since, and I'm sure you've done this too, when you're picking out clothes for a date, you typically want to present yourself, like, you want the clothes to represent what you're trying to present yourself as. So the clothes chosen here, I'm going to assume, is basically where our characters are at this particular moment in the story. So let's actually go ahead and start with Mizu's clothes, that being a light blue and white dress with, like, flowers on it, and this sort of light blue over, like, a jacket slash, well, it's not an overcoat, it's like a little jacket type cardigan thing. Now, the white in the outfit, I don't really think I need to describe. Like, you know, it's very much a purity thing. Like, it's trying to present her as pure as possible so that the guy will like her. It makes a lot of sense why the outfit is heavily, has, like, only two tones to it, white and then light blue. Now, the baby blue color could mean a number of things. If I had to guess, though, I would say she's going for a sort of, like, almost like a serenity type of thing, you know what I mean? Like a sense of security around her. When you're near her, you feel sort of serene and calm, like sort of like a pond, right? Like a light blue pond. When you look at it and it's all calm, and you like that feeling that light blue gives you. It's why a lot of babies' rooms are typically painted light blue or light pink, because those colors are typically soothing. So the light blue, I think, is meant to sort of calm whoever she's going on the date with, in this case our boy Kaz, whereas the white is supposed to show that she too is like this pure, sort of angelic-like being. At least that's the vibe that I'm getting from her outfit. Now Kaz, I don't think put as much thought into his particular outfit for this date. Kaz's outfit is a white shirt with either a black undershirt or just black sleeves. Cause you know, have you seen those clothes where it's like sewn in sleeves under the shirt? Personally, I can't stand those. But I know that type of outfit. So it could be that the sleeves are sewn in and they're a different color to the orange, just the orange tee, or it is a black undershirt, I don't know. But anyway, orange shirt, black sleeves, gray striped pants. In fact, we know that if before we even see this man, if we had just heard Mizu's dialogue, we would have heard her straight up say what this man is wearing, because that's how they're trying to identify each other by, like, that's how they're gonna find each other, is by what they're wearing. Now, orange is an interesting color, because orange typically, and like this is just kind of what I've found, is that orange is almost always associated with like a youthful, like type of energy, a very youthful, rambunctious energy, which I don't know why Kaz is wearing that. Mind you, his outfit is more like Halloween, like it's orange and black, which I find very interesting. But I'm not quite sure if that's necessarily what he's going for. I think without realizing it, he's sort of shown that he's got this brashness to him, and not in a good way. The fact that he's making these instinctual decisions. It is a very youthful color, but that doesn't always mean like youthful in a like, oh my god, look at all this energy I have. Like, it doesn't always mean youthful in a good way. Sometimes it means youthful in the sense that you make instinctual and almost superficial decisions without really thinking about it. So that could be, like, again, it's not that he chose this to show that, it's just that this is what maybe the character designer and the creator of the manga is trying to show in this moment, that that's where his head is at. Mind you, in manga it's black and white, so I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. As for the black undershirt, I think it's just meant to show that he's sort of like, that's where his heart is at right now. His heart has become black, it's icy cold, and he's just trying to heal, and he feels remorseful for the loss of his relationship. That's what I'd assumed black in the outfit means. As far as the gray pants, first of all, not the best look. Kaz has a better look later on the second date, but we'll get to that when we get to it. I think in terms of like the gray pants, I guess it's just meant to show a lack of emotion. He's not sure what he's supposed to be feeling right now, but he does eventually fall for our girl hard. And let's actually talk about the date instead of just the clothes that they wear on the date. So getting into the date itself, I mentioned that Kaz falls for this girl hard. And Mizu, listen y'all, Mizu is a 10 out of 10, not even A tier, triple S tier waifu immediately. Now mind you, that's what she's going for. That's what she's trying to do. And it helps that she is voiced by Sora Amamiya, aka the voice actress for my trashiest trash queen waifu, the waifu who is so trashy she ascends to triple S tier, Aqua from Konosuba. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I know some people are like, Aqua, really? Yes. I don't know why I like Aqua as much as I do. Probably because Sora Amamiya brings such a like goofy energy to Aqua. Like, you can't help but like kind of like, I don't know, her energy is contagious. And with Mizu, it's all of that contagious energy but cranked up to 1,000. I thought Amamiya crushed it as Mizu, especially when we get to the second date and she's actually like allowed to show more of Mizu's real personality. It is really great stuff. Now, mind you, it's not like she only voiced Aqua. She's also been like Akemi from Dumbbell. She's Elise in Bungo Stray Dogs. And a lot of us might know her as Toka from Tokyo Ghoul. But again, my frame of reference is Aqua, and I thought that she brought a lot of Aqua energy here. But like in all like when Aqua's trying to be like present herself as like a goddess as opposed to just the dummy goddess that we know. But like that type of energy, but cranked up to 1,000. That's what Amamiya brings to Mizu, and I think it's fantastic. And again, she was so good at her job, she got me feeling feels. Like, I was like, damn. And yeah, I love the fact that the two of them go to a cafe and an aquarium date. Because, like, real talk, I've mentioned this before. When I did a little, like, I did one of those, like, ask me, like, shoot me a number on this list and I will answer that. And I believe it was my boy Hiding. But somebody asked me, like, what my ideal date was. Now, I said amusement park date. But a close second is an aquarium date. Like, the aquarium date is a close second. And I was shocked to see it in here. Mind you, it is a classic, and we see it a lot in anime, but I didn't think it would be the first date that these two went on. I assumed it would just be a cafe date, and then they'd kind of go their separate ways. And in fairness to Kaz, he is struggling this whole time. It's not like he falls head over heels immediately. He is trying to force himself to remember that she's not actually his girlfriend. But you can't help it. Like, she's so abundantly charming, you kind of, like, you can understand why Kaz falls. And hell, like you guys heard, even I fell a little bit. So I get it, but at the same time, this man needs to remember, and this is key, okay? It is, not only is the show Rent a Girlfriend, the app is called Rent a Girlfriend. Not buy a girlfriend, not keep a girlfriend. Rent a girlfriend. Why am I putting emphasis on the rent part of that title? Well, my friends, obviously you've seen the episode, so I don't know why I'm leading it as though you don't know. But yeah, Kaz kind of gets in his emotions a little bit too much when this girl reaches over and holds his hand. Now, again, before anybody gets upset, Kaz is my boy, but in this moment I was furious with him. because like he let his own baggage get in the way of this moment, right? Because when she holds his hand, I'm like, bro, just enjoy that moment, okay? Like, just, she is being so kind to you right now. Like she is like allowing you to have this vibe, like you got yourself a girl. You know, basically this is the in-person version of having some gamer girl hang out with you, but from Fiverr. Like, this is the real life equivalent of that. I've watched too much Evanito videos, but this is the real life equivalent. Oh my God, this show is just Evanito, the show, isn't it? Nobody tell Evan I said that. He might be watching this. Shit. Sorry, Evan. But this man Kaz is not as suave as Evanito. No, my man gets in his feelings. And when she holds his hand, he can't help but remember that his ex wouldn't even go near his hand. Like, they never held hands, but this girl held his hand. So he gets in his emotions a little bit. And it's a sweet scene. Again, like I said, just enjoy that moment, my dude, but keep in mind, it's not real. But he lets himself think that it's real. And this fool Kaz gets upset when he finds out that it was fake, even though that's the whole purpose of the app. Like, he reads through all these different reviews for Mizu, and he's, like, shocked by this. And I'm like, homeboy, what did you think was going on? Like, it killed me. And he gives her this, like, craptastic review, like, hits her with a 1-star review. It says, like, oh, this dumb girl didn't even know the names of the fish in the aquarium. Kaz, eat rocks, dude. Like, that was such a dumb moment for Kaz. I was so, like, again, I know he's in his feelings, and I know he's hurt, but that, like, don't take it out on her. You're letting your baggage get in the way of a fun time that you could have had, and you ruined it by being a dumbass. Like, that's how I felt in that moment. Now, again, Kaz is in my good books by the end of the episode. And no matter what happens at this point, because he made such an impression on me, Kaz is gonna be my boy. But sometimes, when you have your boy, you gotta tell them when they're being a dumbass. And in this case, Kaz, my boy, you're being a dumbass. This leads us nicely into the second date, because yes, Kaz gets himself a second date with Mizu, which I found interesting. But mostly because he's like, I'm gonna give her a piece of my mind by giving her more money. Whatever. Anyway, so he goes on the second date with Mizu. And this time, they're obviously, again, like I said, this is why we're doing the color psychology in the midst of the video, instead of at the end, because again, these characters change outfits. Now this time, Mizu is rocking pink and white. Now white, I'm not gonna go into again, you already know. But the pink I find interesting. Now pink is often associated with love. It's a color that typically denotes femininity, playfulness. There's also a sort of like, unconfident and timid nature to pink, but that's definitely not what Mizu's going for. I think what Mizu is going for here is to really emphasize that femininity, because, spoilers, she knows who gave her that 1 star. She's not stupid. Like, she knows who that was. So she shows up rocking the same pink, right? That same sort of pure vibe, angelic vibe, right? But now she's rocking the pink shirt. And I think that is meant to, like, put a heavy emphasis on the femininity, the love aspect of pink. And she even, like, styles her hair differently. Like, she's really trying to win this dude over because she's so confused why this dude flipped his gasket and gave her a 1 star. The first 1 star she's ever gotten. And while that should surprise me, given the amount of, like, reviews that she got, it doesn't, because this girl is a queen. But regardless, I was impressed by the fact that she chose pink. Again, I really think the color designer and the creators of the show are, like, really putting a heavy emphasis on the outfits, and I think that's really cool. And once again, to give my boy Kazu credit, I thought that his outfit on the second date was actually kind of dope. This man rocking a pink hoodie with a green collared shirt underneath, and honestly, I thought it looked pretty sharp. Now, beige, unfortunately, when it comes to color design, beige is soothing. 9 times out of 10, when you enter a new home, what color are the walls? Beige. You wanna know why that is? Because they're trying to sell you on the house. Beige is a comforting, like, embracing color, but the reason why it's comforting and embracing is because it's kind of bland. It's blasé. When you hear beige, you typically go, because that's how it's supposed to make you feel. That, like, it's not supposed to entice you. If they're trying to entice you on a house, they're usually, like, emphasizing, like, other stuff around it. But when you walk into a blank room, it's almost always going to be white or beige. 9 times out of 10, beige. So that doesn't surprise me that they put this man in beige, because again, Kaz is trying to figure himself out, and right now he's just kind of a schlub. He's sort of an everyman. Like the first year in college, he's not really sure what he's doing. He's about as basic as they come. He's beige. So I get why they put him in the beige hoodie. But again, I do think the combo of beige with green is kind of sharp, and the green is interesting. Green is a number of things, right? It can represent harmony. It can represent nature. In fact, it's almost always associated with nature. It can represent jealousy or materialism. In this case, though, I have to assume that it represents two things for our boy Kaz. It represents inexperience, and that's the biggest one. And it also represents restoration. As we find out towards the end of the episode, this man is on the path to healing his heart and actually picking up the pieces and not just rebuilding, but making himself into somebody even better. At least that's what I'm assuming is going to be going on, especially in his connection to Mizu, who, spoilers, this isn't a 2 dates and they're gone. These two, I have a feeling, are going to be endgame canon. But even if not, these two are going to help each other into better people, specifically Mizu helping Kazu to sort of become a better guy. So I do think that the green could represent that. Underneath the beige facade lies the restoration going on within. You know, lies the lucky dude that he will one day become because he gets to know Mizu. But again, the other thing is inexperience. He is so clearly not prepared to deal with the situation, and he does blow up on her for no reason, because he's the one in the wrong. And in fact, they even establish that in the show, that he realizes he's the one in the wrong here. But that green representing inexperience, you know, like, oh, he's a greenhorn, he's new, he's not aware of the situation, he's inexperienced. So I think that that's what they're going for with the green undershirt. Am I reaching? Yeah, definitely, but that's what this is about. And again, to go into the second date, my friends, this does not go well for my boy. Like, this goes poorly for my dude. And Mizu, this is where we get to see Mizu actually shine, and Amamiya really crush it in the role, because, like, Mizu destroys this dude, and I'm not even gonna be subtle about it. She screams at this dude, like, what is your deal? Like, I don't understand. Like, she puts it all on Front Street, saying, like, I don't know what you thought this was. I don't know why you gave me a 1 star. This has never happened to me before. Of course I knew it was you. I studied fish and dolled myself up to impress you, and you're still screaming at me. And that's what I gotta emphasize. My girl is a professional out here. You know what I mean? Like, she studied fish for this date. Fish are boring. And yet she studied fish just to impress this guy. I was so surprised by that. And again, as much as I love Kaz and he's my boy, yeah, he definitely deserved to get this, like, verbal beatdown. But it doesn't last quite as long as you'd think, since the second date eventually kind of gets destroyed when Kaz gets a call that his grandmother has collapsed, which is very scary. Except it's not. Yeah, it turns out that Granny is actually kind of cool as hell, and she's been here like 3 times, so when they go to check on her, she's totally fine. She had passed out, but she's all good. And I want to emphasize something. I'm jumping ahead a little bit into the episode. Normally we go scene by scene, but I want to really emphasize just how dope Granny Kaz is. Or I guess Granny Kino, because that's her last name. So Granny Kino is the dopest granny so far. We established later that the reason why she got all flustered when Kaz, spoilers, reveals that Mizu is totally his girlfriend. The reason why she gets all flustered is because that's all she wants from him. And he felt bad and he couldn't backpedal on that. And he just wants to make her happy because, as it turns out, Granny Kino has been out here putting in the work her whole damn life. Their family runs a shop. I don't remember what it was. I feel foolish. I almost always write down notes for these. And I should have written down what the shop was. Unfortunately, I don't recall. I'm sure somebody will let me know in the comments. But they run a shop. It was Granny Kino and Grandpa Kino, but Grandpa Kino, I believe, passed away. And so she had to take up the shop, as well as take care of Kaz's dad, and like juggle like the bills, raising him, and running a shop all at once. And she was constantly there for her family, putting in the work the entire time. And she's strong as hell. This lady passes out and immediately is like, get me checked out of this place. We gotta go celebrate. My grandson got himself a girl and she's fine. I love Granny Kino. Granny Kino is dope. I will hear no arguments. I hope she stays in the show as like a background, not even a background character. I hope she is a side character throughout the series because I thought she was friggin' dope. I really hope we get to see more from her going forward. And yeah, like I said, Kaz accidentally reveals that, quote-unquote, reveals that Mizu is totally his girlfriend. And she's, of course, flustered by this. And if the whole reason she's there is because this man still has time on the clock for their date, so she's like, yeah, I'm his girlfriend. And then, but not even like that. Like, that's how I would react. Like, yeah, we're dating. Jackass. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would be like, you asshole. But, like, she is just like, yeah, we've been dating for a little while, and I'm sorry that we met under these bad circumstances, but, you know, it is what it is, and we're happy to be here, and blah, 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 blah. And she handles it like a goddamn professional. And that's what I want to emphasize. My girl is a professional out here. She's putting in the work. She got no time to deal with Kaz's bullshit. But, again, I do think they're going to make each other better. And what makes the situation all the more intense is that when the granny runs out to tell her friends, that is when Mizu realizes, oh shit, my grandmother might be one of her friends. My grandmother's in this hospital too. They don't know what my job is. We gotta get the hell out of here. So they gotta run. Now, I don't know why they didn't just pretend in the first place, because they later reveal like, oh, we'll just pretend like we're dating and then break up later. They could have just done that from the jump, but instead we get ourselves into quite the situation in what I will call the biggest crisis of all, because that's what the show calls it. And, bruh, this scene is like uncomfortable. I was like, oh no, you foolish fool. And the sound effects, that do-do-do-do-do-do, that's like, my guy, the sound effects, that's unnecessary. Very, very interesting choice. This whole scene was hilarious to me because I'm like, bro, I would never even be in this situation. This would never happen to me. I would just be like, I would have had the fucking brain cells to say like, nah, she's my girlfriend, and then whisper like, we'll break up after this, don't worry about it. Like, it's cool. But no, these two get into good old rom-com animu hijinks, and I mean, in fairness, it is hilarious, and I was, I can only imagine what was running through my man Kaz's brain, because I was like, the whole time, I'm like, okay, now you get off, now you get up and go, this is bad touch, not that he means it, I know they're in a specific situation, but as soon as Granny left, I was like, Kaz, get the hell out of there before she kicks you in the nuts, and that's exactly what happens. My poor man gets rocketed by the nuts up off the bed, and of course they get caught. Like, of course they get caught, and then they have to explain the exact same thing that I just said, where they should have just said they were dating in the first place so they could have avoided that situation, but hey, it led to a really funny scene, so I ain't complaining. And this sort of leads us into the ending where the two share this, like, really genuinely nice conversation. I was surprised at how well the writing was in this series. Now, I have to give the mangaka Reiji Miyajima credit here because I'm genuinely surprised. I came into this mostly just because I was curious about whether it was going to be more rom or more com, and I kind of just wanted a rom-com in my life, but I was surprised by the strength of the dialogue. The dialogue here, these characters actually have some genuinely insightful little tidbits of knowledge that they're throwing out there, and I was kind of impressed by it. Now, mind you, Mizu finds that shit corny, which did make me laugh, but I genuinely appreciated the last conversation outside of the hospital between the two. I thought it was really sweet. And this, again, this does lead nicely into the big ending where he writes like a nice review and talks about how she's super great, and it's honestly kind of sweet. And then my poor boy Kaz catches his ex with some new guy. But hey, man, at least he's got his boys. And then the twist happens. And yeah, the twist being that they go to the same college. And not only do they go to the same college, but my girl looks totally different. Now, I'm going to save the color psychology on this particular outfit, both outfits that the two characters are wearing, for next week, because it seems as though we're actually going to get a follow-up to this particular scene, so I'm not really going to go into it here. But I will say that this was a pleasant twist, and honestly, Mizu looking just as fine with the glasses, if not more so with the glasses and pigtails. I was like, my girl looking great in every situation. My God, I'd be out here simping. I'm sorry, I'll knock that off. But yeah, I was genuinely pleasantly surprised with the twist ending. I could have seen it coming, in fairness, but I like it. I like the fact that these two keep, it's as, like, she says, like, man, it must be like fate when they're trying to win over their grandmothers to just sort of, like, let them leave. But I do think there is, like, whether you want to believe in that kind of thing or not, fate is at play. These two's lives keep intertwining, so I'm curious to see where things go. Again, I do feel like these two will end up being canon. Last thing to mention, I'm gonna go into this more next week when we get to see the actual, like, full screen version of the OP, but the OP is by the Peggies. I love the Peggies so much, and this song is a bop, but I will go into that more next week. And with that said, everybody, I'm gonna wrap up today's video. Sorry I didn't go into the OP too much, but again, I have definitely talked too much, and I feel like I could save some of that for next week. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, then don't forget to boop that up snoot and share if you care. And of course, I do, as always, have to give a big thank you to the lovely members of the T Squadron. Look at these beautiful names. Look at these beautiful people. Would they use the Rent-A-Girlfriend app? I don't know, but I guess you could ask them. And if you would like to join these beautiful people, then be sure to check out the first link in the description to check out our Patreon page. For less than a cup of coffee a month, you can help keep this channel afloat, and I would sincerely appreciate it. Now, with that said, everybody, I'm going to go try to edit this video down to a reasonable length, and until next time, you stay classy, AniTube, and wash your dang hands.